Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you, my friends?
I'm doing very well, Brian. Looking like you're out of North Carolina, dude.
Well, it's the Scottsdale, North Carolina connection. You know,
yeah.
The hat, the shirt, and like we've talked about, golf season. And we were just talking about yesterday, had an interesting round on the course. Griff Harris in Greenwich, and we were talking finger injury. So I'm just curious, anybody out there, I would appreciate any comments if you've ever had an issue where obviously I'm right-handed golfer, so it would be your left pointer finger. If you ever had a problem swelling, I think there actually is like something, it's called like trigger finger or golf finger.
Interesting.
But it's just all season it's been inflamed. And then yesterday it's called like trigger finger or golf.
Just making sure we're good.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like a bite you were just creating on the spot.
Dude, that would be sick, dude.
So yeah, I don't know what it is. It started out, in the beginning of the year it was kind of a pain, but not too bad. And then it kind of went away. And then yesterday, 3 holes left, really acted up where it hurt, a lot to bend. And then when I woke up this morning, it was really, really in a lot of pain. But fortunately, the frozen blueberries, Tony.
So ridiculous, dude.
The swelling has gone down, so we're feeling better. But just kind of interesting. I've been golfing all my life. Never had to deal with something quite like that.
Have you ever been injured before?
Like
sports? Like something serious, broken bone, torn ligament, concussion?
No, it's just broken nose from
nose.
Yeah. But other than that, no. Sprained knee playing kickball first grade. I've actually steered clear of injuries, which is kind of remarkable. Never been a big stretcher. I know Michael prides himself on the flexibility end, but I just haven't been able to get there for whatever reason. But
for whatever reason, he says.
But haven't had any injury problems. So I guess I'm fortunate in that regard. Hoping the finger's all right. I've been telling you, in the midst of a heater right now. On the course, Tony. So feeling pretty good. Don't need anything to get in the way of that. But I think, no golf today. Rest up for the weekend. I think I'll be all right.
You'll be golfing tomorrow.
Oh, I guess you could call it a 60-40 proposition, but I think it's me, it's golf. More than likely.
Okay.
We're there. Not quite getting what prefer means.
No, yeah, prefer. I don't know, man. Just, hey, fellas, good morning, prefer. Nice to see you on this beautiful Friday morning. He says swelling might be from inflammation. Maybe you have a gluten or milk allergy. Did you have a lot of bread or gluten or milk yesterday, dude? Let's go through it. What did you have?
No. I just had my usual, protein bar, coffee. Some of it has milk. And then like an egg sandwich. So no,
really,
no,
dude?
that definitely has something to do
with
it.
Cheese.
Yes.
No,
Tony, you're giving me the look.
No, yeah, I think you'll be fine, dude. Did you make that sandwich?
No, but I just don't get why Before even suggests something like that. Like clearly it's from me swinging the club. Come on.
Yeah. So now let's say tomorrow it's the same as it is now.
Right.
Like didn't get worse, didn't get better. What are we doing?
No, I think I'm fine. I probably could play today. I just am worried though. Like, obviously I just don't want it to be randomly one swing and it's like my finger like popped out of the socket or something.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
But I don't think that'll be the case. I really, really don't think that'll be the case. So, we'll have to monitor that. Definitely excited for sure, but wanted to give a leaderboard update. The Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, Dublin, Ohio, Muirfield Village, Jack Nicklaus, all that. And right now, David Lipsky at the top of the field here, 2 shots clear of 3 golfers. Right now, he's 3 under on his round, 6 under overall, and that's 3 under through 10, starting on the front 9. So definitely a lesser heralded golfer, and still 25-1 despite leading the tournament. So obviously was a guy, not expected to contend, but Tony's guy, Patrick Cantley,
What do we got?
started on the back 9, 3 under for his round today. So 4 under overall, tied for second with Matsuyama,
Let's
with
go,
Matt
baby.
Wallace. Cantley and Matsuyama, that's, 2 known names at the top, and you go right down the next slot at 3 under, tied with Terrell actually way too many golfers for me to name, but Danny Willett, Terrell Hatton, Davis Riley, Shane Lowry. How about Jordan Spieth? Even on his round today, was 3 under 69 yesterday.
Yeah.
So he's tied for 5th. So definitely some power at the top. You got Ryder Cup captain Luke Donald tied for 15th at 2 under par. John Rahm shot a 2 under 70 yesterday. He's tied at 15. You got Adam Scott, who shot 70, tied for 15th. Sanjay Im, who we talked about in our preview as well. So a lot of golfers, near the top of the list. And also just taking a look here, Colin Morikawa tied for 25th, 1 under yesterday. Cut line projected at +2. I would imagine that'll move to probably 4. JT, once again, outside the cut line here, 3 over through 7, starting on the back 9, as well as Chris Kirk, 3 over through 6, starting on the front 9. Jason Day, 4 over 76 yesterday. So definitely some notables here at the bottom as well. Fratelli, after being last in the field, did withdraw. How about defending champion Billy Horschel, shooting 84 yesterday, tied for 117th, says he has lost complete confidence in his golf game.
Wow.
Something you don't usually see. Francisco Molinari, I know it's been a while since he's been one of the top golfers in the game, and winning, I think it was that 2018 Open Championship, 10 over after an 81 yesterday. So definitely some, it's a course that'll beat you up, that's for sure. But we do have, some bigger names, some lesser known names at the top. So you love to see that as well. So, we'll give you another leaderboard update before the end of the show. And we look forward, as always, to crowning a champion on Sunday, recapping it, on Monday. So definitely looking forward to watching some good golf, Tony.
Who do you think's going to win now after today?
I think Rahm. Still, he's 4 shots back. Hasn't teed off today. Afternoon tee time. I think he's hungry. I think, last week was tough for him. And he sees what lies ahead of him, and he knows that he's better than every golfer that currently is ahead of him in this field right now.
Cantley doesn't hold up.
Cantley, yeah. I mean, he doesn't win that much. Great golfer, but he doesn't
win this tournament. Has he not?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying of recent. He's won before, obviously, but it's been a little bit since we've seen Patrick Cantley, winning tournaments. So something interesting to keep an eye out for sure. But let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it, Tony. Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Throw deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So we know somewhere, whether he's an AI robot or not, prefers cheesing.
That's
he
right.
Always comments about these, 40-minute Yankee talks, the 5-minute Met
we don't even know
talks.
if prefers a robot.
But today he gets a treat as
He
the
does.
Yankees were off yesterday. So Tony has the floor to recap yet another New York Metropolitan victory.
Wow, Brian, thank you very much for giving me the floor. Let's go, dude. All right, so the Mets complete their sweep of Philly at home here. Brian and I were talking before the show too. It was, a big day for ESPN Radio. One of our favorite, radio hosts were there, Rick and Dave. Attendance was at an all-time high. You got to say it was, I think, 39,000 and change. I think for a Thursday 1:00 game, I think that's pretty impressive, honestly. Because even they were saying too in the radio, like the game, like, oh, people are gonna go, Thursday
Blah,
afternoon.
blah.
What are you gonna do? Whatever.
Here we are.
Almost a packed house, almost sold out crowd. So that was pretty intense, dude. On the mound for the Mets were Max Scherzer. As I mentioned, they did win this game 4-2. To take you through some of the scoring here, because we have, a good amount, honestly, early on in the game. First off, first inning here, Max Scherzer actually does get into a little bit of trouble. He strikes out his first batter, Stott, but then Trey Turner is able to pull a single into left field. He walks Harper, and then Castellanos hits a sac fly RBI. Harper was able to score, Turner as well, making it a 2-0 game. And, you're kind of thinking, of course, now, I understand the last few starts from Max Scherzer weren't horrible. But still, you're thinking like, with this team against a lineup like the Phillies, what they can do, maybe a slippery slope here. Could be, an early night for Max Scherzer, not what you want. But he does kind of settle down, actually. That next inning, top of the second, he forces a ground out from Marsh, and then back-to-back strikeouts, both swinging, both on four-seam fastballs, Brian. And that fastball, I think the fastest it clocked in at 96 yesterday, but consistently 95, which was huge because we spoke about, Max Scherzer's velo dipping his past few starts. And then, of course, there was talks of the blister, and then I'm battling through an injury. I'm trying to avoid the IL, battle through it. It seems like that was really the case because, I mean, his velocity in his fastball was up 4 miles per hour, which is ridiculous to see that. And then, of course, he was kind of painting corners again, getting those strikeouts from that fastball, blowing it past batters, I think was pretty important. Fast forward now here to the bottom of the third, as Mark kind of leads off the inning with a ground out to short. Alvarez grounds out to third, but then Nimmo walks, Lindor walks. So back-to-back walks from Taijuan Walker, dude. And then McNeil with a RBI single, making it 2-1. That was great. At that inning, too, Alonso with men on base ends up striking out. We had Lindor on third. So a man in scoring position, Alonso strikes out on a four-seam fastball, too, from Taijuan Walker. He clocks in around 95 as well. But, kind of tough from Alonso, honestly. I mean, you think you're seeing a lot of strikeouts from him again. I really do think he's just trying to swing for the fences here. But moving on, though, Scherzer goes through the fourth with 2 strikeouts. Now we're in the bottom of the fourth. Mets are up here. Brett Baty grounds out to lead off the inning. Marte actually gets hit by a pitch and then steals second immediately. The next pitch after, which I think was pretty good because Taijuan Walker, when he was on the Mets, was an incredibly hard pitcher to steal. He has a very quick move to first, and he didn't give up a lot of stolen bags. So that was good on Marte. He still has some tremendous speed. And then after that, Vogelback, of course, flies out, whatever. But Mark Canha hits a 397-foot home run, dude, for a 2-run dinger.
I didn't think he had that much power.
Kind of ridiculous, honestly. It was a 4-seam fastball over the middle of the plate. And he just absolutely took it yard to left center. Marte scores. All of a sudden, you're down by 1. Now you're up by 1. The nice, 1-run swing, dude. And then moving on now to the bottom of the sixth, Taijuan Walker actually left, I think, after that inning. They were saying, maybe he's hurt. He had some ailments, whatever, dude. Kind of washed. Anyway, dude, bottom of the sixth here, Brett Baty leadoff double to center field. Nice to see him get a hit. And then Vientos gets a sac fly to center as Baty scores, I think, after Marte was walked. So then, Vientos coming in clutch here with a nice RBI, sac fly RBI. You'll have to see that, increasing the lead to 2 runs. Now it's 4-2. And then the rest of the game was pretty copacetic in terms of pitching. After Scherzer, he lasted 7 innings. They bring him in the top of the 8th here, and he gets a strikeout, a ground out, and then a foul out to third. He's looking solid. I mean, again, nothing crazy, nothing like you're kind of riding home about, but it's not giving him any hits, not giving him any runs. You'll have to see that. And then the 9th, they bring in Rayleigh, actually, who strikes out 2 out of the 4 batters he's faced, gives up a single, and then fly out, actually. I guess that, it looks like after Rayleigh, they did bring up fucking Drew Smith for the last out. I'm not sure why, honestly. I remember seeing that actually yesterday. Not totally, kind of confused why Buck did that with Rayleigh. Because again, I mean, you gave up one hit. You struck out two. Like, why wouldn't you keep him in there? I haven't heard anything of that, but Drew Smith came in, got a fly out on like the 2 pitches he threw. And then, Mets win it 4-2. Looking at this game, I guess a little bit, further back here, Scherzer, I mean, his ERA through May, I think, is like a 1.04 or 1.2 or something like that. His final line was 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 9 Ks. So, I mean, he threw 101 pitches. He was incredibly efficient. And of course, we know that 1 earned run was from the first inning. So, after what seemed like a little bit of, this could be a tough start, settles down. Last 7 innings, again, was incredibly efficient. 71 strikes over the 101 pitches. Fastball was on top of it. It was nice to see the velocity with the uptick there. I think was huge there. And again, he threw a lot of cutters, threw a lot of sliders as well. Those were always some good, pitches to go to when he needed a strikeout. When a batter like Turner or Harper were fouling off his fastballs, he would go to that off speed and get them, which was really nice to see. And again, the bullpen was great. Bring him Rayleigh, Smith. That's not Ottavino and Robertson, right? So it's great to see that. In terms of the lineup, Vientos came up big with that RBI for sure. Kana, of course, on this hot streak the past couple weeks. He's got 5 home runs, 18 RBIs now, batting .245. Was great to see that. And then, of course, McNeil coming up with a couple of clutch hits with that RBI as well. Great to see that. Some of these guys, seeing Alonso striking out a lot is tough. Lindor had a little bit of an off night. He was 0 for 3. Seeing other guys in the lineup step up was huge. Alvarez was a little quiet at the plate as well. Like I said, Marte's hot right now. That's great. Can't rely on that forever. But you're happy to see that from him. And then, of course, I guess now the Mets are 16-0 when their pitchers last more than 6 innings. So I think that's something to write home about, something certainly that the Mets players, fans aren't used to seeing. Pitchers go deep into games. And it was a great sweep of the Phillies here. I mean, I understand the Phillies are a struggling team, definitely underperforming. I really can't believe, honestly, how piss poor Trey Turner has been this season. Not even just at the plate. Like,
what do we have for an average?
It's actually a good question. Let's see. Just give me 1 second. Trey Turner, 236, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, OPS of 648.
Steals?
Let's see. Stolen bases right now. Oh, he has 8.
All right, but
so he is using his speed still.
For that contract, I mean, please.
Yeah.
Well, was it $300 million or no?
Yeah.
That is kind of crazy.
It really is,
in
dude.
hindsight.
And not to mention that, I mean, like his fielding hasn't been good. I mean, he made a couple errors this series alone, and they were talking about how his fielding it hasn't been there. So,
right.
It's kind of tough for him. Just looking at his fielding right now. 7 errors on the season so far. So, I mean, that's kind of tough. I mean, with the Dodgers last season, he had 16 errors. Season before that, he had 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when he was with Washington, he was never in double digits. So, I mean, I don't know, man. That's kind of tough. Maybe just, I don't know what it is. If it's just Philadelphia, if it's the rest of the team, if it's just him. But obviously, you're looking at Trey Turner, and you got to say he's seriously underperforming. But still, for the Mets to get the sweep here at home against the Phillies, divisional rival, you really love to see that. The Braves were dropping some games too to the A's, as we saw recently this week. So, I mean, it was definitely a nice breath of fresh air. And we got Verlander here. Tonight we're playing the Blue Jays at home still. So, again, Verlander, you expect to follow up Scherzer's outing with somewhat like something like that.
Yeah.
So let's go.
A couple of things to unpack here. First, I did see the highlights from Scherzer. I have to say, was pretty impressed. I think there's a reason, and obviously you would know better than me, but for some renewed optimism when it comes to Scherzer. Not to say that he's going to win the Cy Young or anything, but that he can be pretty solid.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, certainly. Again, I think that this month of May, his starts were actually really good when you look at some of the numbers in terms of runs he was giving up. Of course, it was just giving up a lot of hits, a lot of walks. And like Scherzer said at the time, he was struggling with an injury. He really was. I mean, I know like a lot of people too, like, oh, blister, whatever, it's bullshit. Like the guy's old, like he's gonna be lingering injuries. He was battling through something. And again, I mean, this guy's fastball, like all of a sudden is hitting 95, 96 when
We were just talking 92 last
92.
start.
Yeah.
Last start, literally.
So clearly the man was struggling with something. And it was literally like first inning is 95 in the gun. Like he was warmed up, ready to go.
Slider head bite.
He was going to his cutter as well. Clearly this guy worked through an injury. And now what you saw yesterday was an incredibly healthy Max Scherzer. And to get 9 Ks, and I understand that the Phillies again are struggling, but to strike out bad, he still his last inning, it went through the heart of the order for the Phillies. He went through Harper, he went through Turner. Like that's not easy. All right. So I think huge reason to be happy about your starting pitching right now. Again, like I think this is like the first time we're kind of seeing from top to bottom the rotation have some good outings. Just so Carrasco have a solid outing. Senga as well. Let's follow it up here with Verlander. Like, let's fucking go. This is what we should have been feeling all season, dude.
You think it's a sign of the apocalypse though if McGill like strikes out 10 over 7 his next start?
It could be, dude.
That would be the topper, Tony.
I know. That would be ridiculous.
Verlander's due for a big strikeout game. It could come with the Blue Jays. We've seen them be very, very inconsistent.
Yeah, man.
I'm interested to see how that series goes.
Me too.
And I think, too, one thing that I think is very positive for the Mets, I mean, we know the negativity that this season has brought on, but at the end of the day, you're 3.5 games out of first place.
Yeah.
And not a lot has gone right. Obviously, past week or so, a lot more has gone right, but that's been because you've won 3 in a row. The Braves have won 4 out of 10 games.
Yeah.
So that's really helped you out. Obviously, even Miami hanging in there despite, getting blown out yesterday, only a game behind you. So I think it's all right in front of you. Phillies put themselves in a hole 8 games back. We know Washington is not going to contend. So I think there definitely is reason, for optimism for the New York Mets. I mean, that's for sure. So I think we're slowly but surely getting there for you, Tony.
Yes, we are getting there. Again, I think now coming up to this series against the Blue Jays, we're still at home. Like, let's win this series.
Bassett pitching in this series?
Yeah, Bassett's pitching tonight actually against Verlander.
You know what I'm gonna say?
What?
Is there gonna be a tribute video?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because was it 1 season only or 2?
It was 1.
Okay, so.
But I mean, he did well. I mean, he came in. He was our opening day starter last year. So
yeah. So
maybe it should be a video. But Chris Bassett, I mean, I think we talked about it too. He's not a terrible season for him.
Right.
So, but again, I'm interested. I'm really interested to see how some players respond to him. And really respond to how the rest of the lineup was playing. Because in reality, I mean, the batters didn't do great yesterday.
Right.
I mean, a couple of sack fly RBIs and a dinger from Kana, which is like something you can't really like rely on, I feel.
Right.
Yeah, he's on a hot streak, but you really never know. I would still like to see. I feel like I haven't heard Nimmo hitting a home run or getting an RBI in a little while, dude. Yeah, I'm ready for like let's get at our top of the lineup, singing. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, how they hit in this Blue Jays series. We were talking about former Mets. I don't know if you saw this, but Gary Sanchez, 2nd straight game with the Padres yesterday.
Home run?
With a home run.
Wow.
2 for 4, 3 RBIs yesterday. So, they might have caught lightning in a bottle. I don't think it's fair. And I know, they probably, in hindsight, maybe just shouldn't have picked him up in the first place. But I don't think it was really even given a shot with the Mets. I mean,
he wasn't at all. But there's no room for him, dude.
Over Vogelback, though, I think you could argue.
Yeah, you could.
It was worth taking that chance.
No, yeah, I think so. I still think so.
And then what? I think it was Sal Licata. You know him, obviously. So he was like filling in for somebody earlier on yesterday, and he was just saying he doesn't care what anybody says. There's no way that Buck Showalter could look anybody in the eye and say that he thinks Daniel Vogelback is a good baseball player. There's no way. Like he's like screaming like that.
I mean, there really isn't. How could you, dude? And he has. I like Vogelback stuff, he says.
but Prefer, I think, a little bitter talking about the Sanchez home run, saying it's a blowout. But Prefer, I mean, he went 2 for 4. He's homered 2 straight games. I know you would like that production instead of Daniel Vogelback. So that's one we snagged Prefer. I think on some animosity there.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to be a little bit because, like, again, Vogelback last night didn't have a hit, so it's like, dude, sick.
Yeah, no, he should be in there. And then I don't know if you saw. Did you see the attendance number for that Miami game we were talking about yesterday?
You know, it's actually pretty funny. I just looked at it. 8,400.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what we were thinking, or
you said under 5? Did you say under 5? Originally, you said under 1.
Attendance versus paid attendance.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, ghost town.
That's so sad, dude.
Yeah, in a place with beautiful weather like Miami, I don't know. It's just crazy. I mean, I know, there's not a bunch of huge names there, but one guy that I don't even know if we've ever talked about this year, Jorge Soler. I mean, he's got 17 home runs.
No shit.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him. I think he hit 50 or 47 with the Royals, maybe 2019. Let's see. So it was 2019, 48 home runs, 117 RBIs.
Jesus Christ.
But since he hit the 48 home runs, he's hit 65 in 5 years.
Wow.
After 48 and 1. So
that's not good.
That's also known as, but he hasn't played 100 games in a season since then either. So obviously that has a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah, true.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I mean, it's been close, but I mean, I feel like you can definitely 17 home runs for so far this season through 55. I mean,
yeah, no, he's gonna have a big year.
He is,
as long as he's healthy, of course. And then did you see Sale got hurt again?
Chris Sale got hurt again?
Yep.
No, I did not see that.
Shoulder stiffness.
Oh.
Let's see. And so the Red Sox did win. It was very interesting how the Red Sox won 8-2, despite Hunter Green's 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. But bullpen pitched a combined 2 innings, gave up 6 hits and 7 runs.
Hate to see that.
Sale struck out 6 over 3 2/3, only 59 pitches before leaving with that injury. So I mean, I'm sure they're happy to get the win here. But I mean, Sale, I mean, at this point, I mean, you have to be very concerned. I mean, like we've known for a while now, Tony.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe going back to 2020, that you just can't. He's DeGrom territory.
Yeah, he really is, and he's 34 now.
34, and it says as of 12 hours ago he will go undergo an MRI. So we know all about MRIs, Tony. Anytime you're going for one of those,
Yeah, not good.
Not good, bud. Not good. So, what I haven't looked it up, but what's your guess attendance wise for Fenway yesterday?
Oh, geez.
Reds, weak opponent. I think it was a day game too, wasn't it?
Or
no. Remember you said I was talking about Hunter Green on my fantasy team, and then you said no, it's a night game.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know, dude. I mean, I still feel like it's Fenway.
Beautiful night.
I feel like they can hit 30,000. What's the capacity there? 35?
Remember we were saying, I think it's 38.
38?
Did we say that yesterday?
Yeah, I'd say 29, 30. Say 29.
I don't know if this has ever happened to me before.
You blowing it?
Game day not loading? Because I feel like you only look at MLB.com for attendance. ESPN doesn't show it, right?
ESPN, I think, does show it. Yeah. Let's see. Just doing a little bit of, just bear with me here. Red Sox yesterday. Let's see. Oh, no. Give me the game cast. Attendance 31,204.
Okay, so 83%.
Yeah.
Kind of weak, no?
Yeah, no, it is weak, dude. But still pretty good.
I think though, no, but it really isn't though for what they are used to pulling in over there. It's really
yes, very true. But it's
Um,
no Miami, dude. It's no Lone Depot Field.
I just wanted to see one thing here. I'm just curious. I feel like sometimes, like definitely it's strong sometimes, but yeah, like okay, so yeah, I mean Houston yesterday, they have a slightly bigger ballpark, but had 34,000 fans there, 83%. They're obviously defending World Series champions, 10 games over 500. Yesterday, this guy Blanco pitched for them that I've never heard of, but
Jorge?
did get the win. Right. I'm not sure what the name is. Let's see here. Is it, for some reason, I feel like it's okay. Ronell, 29-year-old from the Dominican Republic.
Really?
Seems like they always just churn out pitching.
Yeah. 29. Interesting.
And then one guy who's nasty in their bullpen, Brian Abreu. I feel like he should be the closer over Presley.
I've always liked Presley.
He just got off to a tough start this year.
Yeah.
Just wanted to see something here too.
He's got 3.09 ERA.
How about Jose Abreu, 213, 1 home run, 22 RBIs for their big free agent side? We knew that he would be.
So I can't believe that. Like, so stupid.
Yeah.
How do you not see that coming from a mile away?
Yeah. I mean, 36 years old.
Oh, my God, dude.
To give a big contract, to have a lot of expectations, that's crazy. How about this? I don't know if I know, we still have a lot of the season left. I'm just looking at stat leaders here. And he won the batting title in the American League last year, but Luis Ariz is hitting 382, which is 36 points higher than Freddie Freeman, who's in second.
That's crazy.
Contact hitter.
Played the whole season, basically?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, because he's on one of my fantasy teams. That's crazy. How about Mitch Keller, second in the league in wins with Evaldi and Gallen?
Yeah, dude.
First with 8.
Zach Gallen.
Brian Elder leading the league in earned run average. Bryce Elder, are you familiar with him from the Braves? 1.92.
Yes. Yeah.
Starter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or no, he's a reliever?
He's a bullpen guy.
I don't get how you put a bullpen guy in for your regulars.
Well, maybe they used him because I know that the the Braves have had, like, Max Fried was injured for a little bit. Morton was out for a little bit, so maybe they used him. Does he have a certain, like, maybe he has?
He's starting.
He's starting.
Yep. Yeah, he is. Wow. So he's got 56 strikeouts in 65 innings, but his strikeout to walk is almost 3-1, and he's only allowed 4 home runs. So keeping the ball in the ballpark and obviously generating good results. Do you see who's second on that list?
No.
Sonny Gray.
Really?
1.94.
Do you like that?
Unbelievable. Yeah. And then let's see. RBIs, Eldolis Garcia, 49. Saves, Emmanuel Clase with 17. Hits, Bo Bichette with 81. Spencer Strider leading the league in strikeouts with 106. Stolen bases, Asturi Ruiz from Oakland, 28 steals. That's a pretty torrent pace. And then Marcus Stroman leading the league in quality starts with 10.
Yeah, he's a loser, dude.
Your major league home run leader, Pete Alonso, with 20.
Wow.
Judge in second with 18. 3 others tied at 17.
Good for Matt Olson. How about that?
Yeah. Average, I think, could get up there a little bit, but definitely one of the premier power sources in the major leagues.
Yeah. 42 RBIs too. Pretty solid.
So, and as we talked about yesterday, and Prefer said something about it in the comments, Yankees are beginning a huge series here with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Prefer as his prediction
at Chavez Ravine. Right now, the tonight's game with Kershaw opposed by Luis Severino, they're actually saying the Dodgers minus 140 favorites. Record's almost identical. Dodgers just have one less loss than us, but same amount of wins. And of course, you got Stanton back, Canely back, a little bit of a reunion there. He was on the Dodgers last year. And then unfortunately, Josh Donaldson, I know corresponding roster move wise, I think it's Franchi Cordero as Oswaldo Cabrera.
They were options,
I'm not
right?
sure what the third guy is. I mean, I think Cabrera makes sense. He's been really struggling all season. You want him to get consistent at bats, as well as playing time. And then, Franchi, I mean, come on. I mean, he clearly had to go. That's for sure. So I guess, those are the corresponding moves. So it'll be interesting to see kind of, how Canely fits into the mix. Definitely will help out that bullpen. And then where they go with Stanton, I would imagine a lot of his time will come in the field. And does DJ kind of take a step back in terms of playing time? I mean, no, he hasn't been great. But at the same time, I just feel like whatever he's going to do is going to be better than Josh Donaldson. We've seen him struggle mightily as a New York Yankee.
Is he starting? Like, is that going to be the?
I guarantee, Tony, it sucks, but I want to say, not only is he starting at third, but he's not hitting lower than 6th tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's 5th. It's so ridiculous. They do it every time. He never is at the bottom of the lineup. It's so annoying.
What if he like dinger?
Yeah, against Kershaw.
2 for 3 with a dinger.
The odds on that should be plus 10.
He's seen Kershaw before.
10,000, Tony. I'm telling you.
You wouldn't put a couple shekels on that?
No. So yeah, anyway, I look at this game. I think it'll be somewhat of a pitcher's duel early. I know Kershaw struggled a little bit his last couple times out. Severino's been good, but I just think a big game like this, he's gonna get pumped up.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's gonna be something where, when you have 2 good pitchers on the mound, maybe 2-2 through 6, battle of the bullpens. Maybe Canely comes back, makes his season debut. And I think Judge, bright lights, Dodger Stadium. How about Stanton, first at bat, back, dinger off Kershaw, hanging curveball, times the 12-6. Judge with the go-ahead home run in the 8th. End of the day, all results in a Yankee 5-2 victory over the Los Angeles Dodgers. How about that, Tony?
That's a great game. This is gonna be a great series, dude.
I think you're pumped to watch it.
I probably will be watching it tonight. 10-10.
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
No.
Late night watch.
No.
What are you gonna be watching at 10-10?
I don't know. Something else.
I mean, if you know you're not gonna be watching it, you have to know what you would be watching.
I might not be watching anything.
You're sleeping at 10-10 on Friday?
What if I'm just not in front of a TV?
It seems like you are.
I'd be outside.
Outside? What is it, a bonfire?
Yeah, maybe. Bonfire on the beach, dude.
Oh my God. And what I actually, if you could just help me out here, actually,
What do you got?
Before I wrote down our picks. So obviously, Mets won yesterday, Blue Jays won, and then what about Diamondbacks?
Diamondbacks won.
Well, so Tony with a 3-0 spot.
Let's fucking go.
And then
What do you need?
I had the Padres, Astros, Reds.
2-1.
Right?
2-1.
All right,
Yeah.
but you see, you just keep always just a little better. So I want to hear about the tribute video, the Blue Jays, Verlander. What do we got?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Not really much of a limb, but I'm gonna say a little bit of a pitcher's duel, honestly, in Citi Field tonight. I honestly, I think Bassett comes in. He's had a solid season so far. And we've seen a lot of these, Mets guys struggle a little bit against good pitchers. So I don't know. I would say, Bassett throws like a solid, 6 innings, maybe like a 2-run home run, like in the 6th or in the 5th or something. But other than that, I mean, pretty solid. He doesn't have a lot of strikeouts, so maybe I'll give him like 6-7 strikeouts, no walks. But Verlander, obviously, kind of edging him out. I'll say Verlander last 8 innings. 8 innings.
I thought you were going to say 8 Ks.
No, 8 innings, 9 Ks, Brian.
Can't get that double digit.
2 hits, no walks either, and no earned runs because of that. So I just think, like I said, kind of a pitcher's duel. Robertson comes in the 9th, closes it out here. Mets maybe can do some damage against Blue Jays bullpen. I don't know much about their bullpen.
Jordan Romano.
Solid?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll say maybe the Mets win this one. I'll say 3-1.
Is
Alvarez with a dinger.
But who's the guy that was on the Mets? Still on the Blue Jays, the reliever? Really low ERA. You were kind of tight to get rid of him. I think he struggled last year. He was on the Mets 2 years ago. He had like an ERA under 2.
He wasn't on the Mets last year.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Aaron Loop, you talking about?
Yeah. Is he still on the Blue Jays?
I don't think so. Is he?
I don't know.
I'm going to look that up right now, dude. If he is.
Tribute video.
Tribute video is right, dude. I don't see him on the depth chart. So
I just saw this. I was just randomly looking at games. How about Tyone has an 8.04 ERA this year?
He's done so, dude.
Yankees were out in front of it.
Yeah.
Loop's on the Angels. He was never on the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I knew that. I thought maybe you were saying he got traded to the Blue Jays in the offseason.
6.75 ERA this year.
Really?
Last year, 3.84 after a 0.95 ERA with the Mets.
Unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
Should have I mean, I guess you were out ahead of it, I guess, but
Luis Rojas.
part of me kind of thinks like, oh, if he stays in New York, again, I mean, maybe he plays better. I don't
Yeah,
know. Change of
it
scenery.
is interesting. I mean, look at Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
And I know I'm playing with fire here because he's just been on such a heater, as well as that Tyone's due to do something, but it's Waka versus Tyone tonight, and I just feel like the trends are going to continue in that one. Padres at home, they've won they won 2 out of 3 against Miami, so looking to kind of recover here. The Cubs 7 under 500. But I think Waka can navigate. He's had to navigate tougher lineups like what he had to deal with the Yankees last weekend. So I think he can honestly give him 7 scoreless against this Cubs team. Home park here. I think there'll be a great crowd. Tatis has been heating up, so I could see him having a dinger. How about Gary Sanchez? Yet another home run, putting his name in the ring for comeback player of the year. And I'm going to say the Padres blank the Cubs 5-0.
I can see that. I mean, the Cubs are trash, dude. All right, my next. You love Waka, dude.
Fantasy needed him.
All right, my next pick, I'll go with, honestly, I think I'm going to go with Baltimore here. Baltimore on the road here in San Francisco. San Francisco favored it, actually. Right now, they're minus 160, not by a ton. But Adley Rutschman, just had a 4-hit performance last night, actually. And he's just been, I think, just like absolutely phenomenal. I know they lost to Cleveland, gave up a lot of runs, but I just think against San Francisco, it doesn't have a lot of offense. We've seen them kind of have a little bit of a struggle. They just dropped 2 out of 3 to Pittsburgh. Before that, I think they dropped 2 out of 3 to Milwaukee. And it's just like some of their best hitters on the team are JD Davis and Michael Conforto. So pretty interesting to see, just the total lack of offense they have. Logan Webb on the mound for the Giants is the only thing you could think of in terms of an advantage they have. Logan Webb with a 2.75 ERA, 4-5 record. But they do have Dean Kramer over there, dude.
He sucks.
4.58 ERA.
Hittable.
Definitely hittable.
Gettable.
But say what you will, his record's 5-2. So clearly Baltimore performs well when he's pitching. So I'm going to say between Rutschman, Mountcastle, who leads the team, I think, with 11 home runs, getting his 12th tonight. I want to say Logan Webb probably still pitches well, but I'll say Baltimore wins this one 3-1.
Going against the grain here, because a lot of times, I look at pitching matchups, I recognize, when there's an advantage, and I think pitcher to pitcher, the Mariners have an advantage with Castillo over John Gray tonight, but I just think, the Rangers have played great. They're at home. That's a difficult ballpark to pitch in, typically known as like kind of number 2 in the league behind Coors for runs scored, all of that. So I think Castillo will get knocked around a little bit. Gray more used to pitching there. And I think there's going to be a lot of runs in this one. But I think the Rangers are just red hot. Seems like they're ready to make the playoffs here and finally contend. Everybody kind of made fun of DeGrom before the season, saying he came there to win a World Series. Here they are. I mean, that's not the craziest thing we've ever heard.
No.
Long way to go, but I've got off to a great start. But I like what they do offensively. We mentioned how Adolis Garcia, a lot of I think he's got 14 home runs, almost 50 RBIs. He's just one of their big bats. Josh Young, is that how you say it? The third baseman?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess he was highly touted coming into the year, hadn't produced, and then he's been on a tear. I think he's got like 12 home runs or something, but a lot recently. And then you got Simeon there as well, Seager. So there's a lot of hitters on that offense, but I think they come here against Seattle, and I think they take this one. Let's call it 9-6.
Love it, dude. My third and final pick, I'm gonna go out on a little bit of a limb here. I'm gonna say the Braves are gonna lose walking in to Arizona. Looking at the pitching matchup, you do have Charlie Morton on the mound, the veteran pitcher for the Braves against Merrill Kelly. 2.83 ERA, 6-3 on the season for the Diamondbacks. One of their bright spots in their rotation for sure. Has been too. Last season did well. And again, I mean, just seeing the Braves kind of struggle against Oakland. I know they won their game yesterday, 4-2, but before that, the first 2 games against Oakland, they gave up 9 runs and only scored 3. And still in that series, they end up scoring 7, giving up 11 runs total. It's not great, honestly. They looked really piss poor against those first 2 games against Oakland, and even that third game. I mean, you would expect, the the Diamondbacks, the Braves to absolutely hammer the A's, but they just never really did. And I just think Charlie Morton, who's one of their weaker spots in the rotation, I think Diamondbacks can maybe take advantage of that. Kelly maybe causes some issues for the Braves lineup. Give me the Diamondbacks winning this game 5-2.
Like it. How many for the Metropolitans this weekend over the Mets? I mean, over the Blue Jays.
Like how many runs you're saying?
No, wins.
How many wins? 2 out of 3.
Starting tonight.
Yeah. With Verlander. Let's go.
I mean, that would be nice.
It would be so nice,
if the
dude.
Braves lose 2 out of 3.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And going into this weekend too, just starting it off with a nice win, I think is going to just put the team in the right spot, dude.
Yeah, and if you could get vintage Verlander, I know you didn't think quite so, but especially if you get his first double-digit strikeout game as a Met, I think that would really set the tone.
Yeah,
fans would get behind a rout of Bassett. I don't know if they'll be able to do that or not. But definitely a big weekend for both teams.
Oh yeah, man.
The Yankees, I think it would be a good litmus test to beat the Dodgers. That's a team, if you were fortunate enough to make it to a World Series, that you could end up opposing. So it would be great on the road to take 2 out of 3. So I'm excited to watch those games. Kind of a cool feel with the later start time and whatnot. So should be a fun weekend of baseball. Can't wait to talk about it with all of you and Tony on Monday.
Oh yeah, dude.
Let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot. Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan's skull. Oh my goodness. Next to drop right back. Terrifying and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliant from Igor Shesterkin. It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
All right. I don't know about everybody else, but to me, it feels like, we have not had a Stanley Cup playoff game in like a month. But we will finally have the return to the playoffs for hockey tomorrow, as we have game 1 in Las Vegas between the Knights and the Panthers.
Let's go, baby.
So really excited to watch this. I think these are 2 teams, obviously, anytime you're making it to the Stanley Cup Finals, you're in the midst of a hot streak, and obviously both teams playing their best hockey, coincidentally enough, of the season. I think this is going to be a really, really exciting game. Vegas slight favorites here at -130. We kind of previewed this series earlier in the week, and I think, we both can agree on that it's going to be competitive, but I believe only difference, you're kind of feeling a Knights hoisting the trophy at the end of this one, where I'm leaning the Panthers in the Kachuk line.
Yeah, dude. I just think, especially I don't know, I feel like this is going to be a series that is going to be so close. And I think honestly, Golden Knights starting it off in Vegas. I think that means a lot, honestly. And I think that crowd, that atmosphere that they build, the Panthers in Vegas too. I understand that, this is the Cup final, that they're dialed in. But hey, man, the whole Vegas curse of teams going there and everything, like that was a real thing and everything for the past couple of seasons we've seen. So I think that home ice advantage is certainly going to sway, I think, this game in the favor of the Golden Knights. We know that both teams can be physical. We know that there is no answer for the Kachuk line. But I just think that the Knights do a better job in spreading that wealth around. I mean, they can score from anywhere on the ice with anyone. Aiden Hill is on top of his game right now. Of course, I can see the argument, Aiden Hill, Cup final, didn't expect it, no experience there. But he's been great throughout the postseason in general. So I don't know, man. I just got my heart set on the Knights right now.
In 7?
I think I said in 6.
Sticking with it.
Yeah.
Everything all right over there? Is that gum?
Yeah, I got gum in my mouth. Yeah.
Why is it? It's just like the way you do it.
Yeah.
But now, how confident are you though? Just like setting the tone tomorrow, game 1, decisive victory. I mean, do you see any way that the Panthers can steal game 1 here?
Yeah. No. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know. Seeing a lot of obviously Cup finals and a lot of these playoff games. I mean, I just feel like this first game is going to be like. It's going to start slow, I think. I think it's going to be a lot of like people don't want to make a mistake or blow an assignment. So it's going to be a little bit slow. You're going to see some big hits for sure. Start to ramp up that speed. You're going to start feeling the energy in the stadium. But for the most part, I just think it's going to be just typical fundamental hockey. Teams trying to get their feet wet, get a feel for how the other team is playing them. What they can take advantage of. So. Maybe a scoreless first period, a tight game for sure, because of that. And so that reason, I mean, of course, if the puck could bounce anyway, it could go the Panthers' way. But I just think, by the second period, I just think the Golden Knights are going to figure it out and be able to score, and we'll score often. So,
and they have been playing well. No one's disputing that. But I just have a sneaking suspicion, Tony, that the Panthers are going to be ready to go. And I just feel really good about them. I could see it being where, maybe they win game 1, 3-2 in overtime, maybe drop game 2, but then return to Florida, win those 2 games, have an opportunity to close out a game 5, in Las Vegas, maybe lose that. Go to game 6, maybe Vegas gets in trouble again, and then a dramatic game 7 victory on the road. You can't write a script like that.
No, I guess you can't, dude. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Vegas at home is going to be a real issue.
Yeah,
I really do. I don't know. I can't see it. And plus, I feel like we haven't even seen that much of Jack Eichel.
Right.
Right.
But I mean, we're still waiting to see that on Patrick Kane. You see he's out. What is it, 6 months?
Yeah, hip resurfacing.
Boomer was ahead of it though.
Yeah.
He was ahead of it.
That's fucking weak, bro.
Yeah.
That he was injured.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Why did we get him?
Frankie Montas.
Like, why did you bother picking him up? Why did you even keep him in the lineup?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
and you traded nothing for him, dude. I swear to God, if like, if Drury came out and was like, yo, Kane is injured, we flubbed it, whatever. We got to start. So we got to put someone else in there. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Be transparent. You didn't really give up a lot, honestly. You didn't give up a whole ton for him. It was a good deal. They must have known, right? They had to have known,
right,
that after this season he was going to have surgery on his hip. So they're like, all right, let's get him now, milk him for the playoffs. But it was a bad move.
Yeah, clearly was a bad move for sure. And speaking of moves, I still can't believe they haven't made a move on a head coach.
I know.
Anything through the grapevine? Rick hasn't talked about it. Seems like he would be on top of something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking about guys that he likes. I mean, again, like no one that we haven't mentioned already that is kind of in the running, or at least talked about. So yeah, dude.
I'm just seeing a couple articles here that the most recent one a day ago, that Hines could be a front runner.
Yeah, the guy from Nashville.
Yeah. You're tight.
I don't know, dude.
Seems like Gallant. How are you?
Yeah.
Same thing.
So what's the deal with that, dude? I don't want that.
Do you think that they're being too timid with the not waiting and kind of like?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think there's really a clear choice. So it's like, if you wait, that's fine. Kind of need to hurry up, though.
So basically, no, it's not fun.
I mean, it's again, like I want to pick the right guy,
Yeah.
And And I would imagine, I couldn't imagine what the interview process for a coach is like.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, it's pretty daunting. It's multiple interviews, multiple hours. Especially if you have a lot of candidates,
Yeah.
it's a tough decision.
Started out with Quenneville, Lafayette has been thrown around. They're talking about Hines now. I feel like it's just been all over the map. And I think you need that coach in place, and then you can start thinking about your personnel and what moves you're going to make. Have you heard anything about that?
Mike Babcock? No. Again, it's just all speculation. All talks about having him being interviewed, sort of deal. But other than that, dude, I don't know.
Let's see here. I just want to see if he's in any. I don't even see any news articles about him.
No, nothing.
3 weeks ago, 1 week ago.
Rangers rumors Mike Babcock headlines coaching search 3 weeks ago.
But Chris Chelios said, I guess he verbally assaulted Johan
Franzen in 2012. What does that mean, though?
Any concern there?
Chris Chelios, great guy. Definitely appreciate what he has to say.
Right.
But it's also what does that mean? Verbally assaulted? He said, go fuck yourself? That's it? What was the scenario here?
I thought you were going to say something more along the lines of, listen, you're a hockey player, toughen up, deal with it. I really thought you were going to say that, Tony. I have to say. No? That doesn't cross your mind at all? And obviously, barring any, maybe a little rough, obviously not saying anything offensive if he is, or that's different. But.
So Chelios is on Spittin' Chicklets podcast, by the way, said that Johan Franzen in 2012 was verbally assaulted so much to the point where he left and had a nervous breakdown. Chelios said that some of the things that Babcock said to Franzen on the bench, I don't know what he said to him behind closed doors one-on-one, but he blatantly verbally assaulted him during the game on the bench. Got to a point where poor Johan, no one really knowing he was suffering with a concussion thing and the depression thing, he just broke down, had a nervous breakdown, not only on the bench, but after the game in one of the rooms in Nashville. So that's tough. And he says here that he retired in 2015, which is about 3 years later after 11-year career. He had PTSD, anxiety, and depression due to concussions. That's tough, dude.
It definitely is tough. Yeah. So now a little trepidation for you after that, or?
I don't know. I have to look more into this. It's interesting. I don't know.
You think everybody's got skeletons in their closet?
Yeah.
So it's kind of yeah. You could give them the benefit of the doubt, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You don't sound too confident.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just reading more of this article, and I don't know, man. Doesn't look good, dude.
Yeah. I think
seems like when he was coaching Toronto, Mitch Marner didn't like him.
That's your guy too. So
I do like Mitch Marner.
Probably not the way to go. Unfortunately, Tony.
That sucks, dude.
I don't know. I mentioned it too. I would like to see Drury just come down, put on a jacket and tie.
That'd be cool. But he would have to be. He can't be GM and the coach. It's ridiculous.
They never do that because football does it, basketball to an
extent.
extent.
For a while, I think he still is. They must have hired a president, but for a while he was the president and the GM.
Yeah.
What do you got going on over there?
Just this connection. I got it. Don't worry, Tony.
You got it?
On top of it, Tony. On top of it.
So I don't know. Maybe Babcock isn't the way to go, but you got to sit down with him and maybe we can address these rumors. I'd write him to come on the podcast, honestly.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
But yeah, you got to be careful, especially nowadays with chewing out people.
And I know it's compelling. I know we're excited to watch it, but markets I think are a problem. Do you think this is going to be a dog scenario with the ratings where they're going to be pretty low for the Stanley Cup final? I know it's compelling, but I'm just thinking about, hockey, markets. Even if it's 7 games, I don't know. I just can't see it being.
Yeah, even with the Panthers
success.
In it, the ace, the wild card. Whoa, dude! I just think that's not Florida. People hear Florida Panthers, and they're just
yeah, they don't.
Even Vegas, it's oh,
yeah. Oh, it's cool.
It's cool.
So a clunker, ratings-wise.
Yeah, I think
Good
so,
hockey,
dude.
but a ratings clunker.
You think they're going to beat the NBA?
No. But not that they shouldn't, but just because of how things go. Not that it's not my opinion.
That's bogus.
Bogus, but
How those games suck. The game last night sucked. We'll get into it, whatever, but sucked, dude.
well, at least they don't have to go head-to-head because their next game is on Sunday, so they have their typical
Yeah, very true.
couple days off here. But let's go now to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls with LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the three, and the Lakers win the game.
All right. So as everybody knows by now, Nuggets taking game one last night, 104-93, and maybe not quite sound the Houdini soundbite, Tony, but I believe I did say it was an under. I did say the Nuggets would cover the 9. They won by 11. And, I'm just kind of curious. I know you were at the Horseshoe. Were you tuned in dribble by dribble in this one?
I guess we were there for the first half, so yes. And honestly, like, I don't know, we were watching it. For me, it was never really a contending game for the Heat. Honestly, I just feel like throughout the first half, I mean, even the first quarter too, I feel like the Nuggets just consistently had like an 8-point lead, and it never really faltered from there. And I think by halftime, I think the league was up as much as 14 or something like that.
And at one point, they were up 24.
Yeah, so pretty crazy, dude. I just feel like, again, like the Heat just never really seemed into it. Not into it, but in the game. And I was like, if the Nuggets seemed like they could, the pace the Nuggets were at seemed like they could just keep that pace throughout the entire game, which is obviously what they did. Jokic looked great. It was actually pretty cool because, Mike and I were watching it and we were like, oh, wow. Like again, like right at the beginning of the game of tip off, it's like, wow, like Jimmy Butler's D'ing up Jokic. Like this is going to be, quite the matchup, dude, whatever. But Jokic is just a smart player and he was just playing the assist game. Naturally, drive a little bit, wait for a double team to come, find the open man. All that time that, that old man would be Jamal Murray or whoever on the perimeter and they'd just be splashing threes, dude. And if not, Jokic would even be there for a rebound. I think by halftime he had 10 points, 10 assists, I think, or first quarter, 10 points, 10 assists.
Yeah. And then ended up with a triple-double. Only the second player to making his finals debut with a triple-double.
So crazy. Who was the first?
We'd have to look that up. But 27 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists, 10 and 12 from the free throw line. And I thought it was crazy. I mean, you don't usually see this big of a free throw discrepancy. Miami shot 2 free throws. That's not a typo. 2 free throws.
Jason Kidd
went to the line 20 times.
Jason
Kidd.
2 versus the Lakers.
Yeah. So I think, that really hurt him, as well as the fact is the Heat missed 26 3-pointers. And I think that's why this was such a low scoring game. They shot 33% from 3. The Nuggets shot 27, but obviously the free throw is really the difference. In this one, Murray, another great game, 26 points, 10 assists. So I think a big way for the Nuggets to start this series is they look to take control and go up 2-0 when they play again on Sunday. Do you feel like game 2 will decide this series? Like if the Nuggets win, it's over. If the Heat win, it's going to be a series, or do you feel like the Heat have shown that they can battle back from anything?
I think the Heat have shown they can battle back. Obviously, dude. Nuggets take game 2. I mean, you got to be thinking like, all right,
sweep.
No, not a sweep necessarily.
Gentlemen's.
But, yeah.
Was Michael a little downtrodden, after the loss, or?
No, I don't think so. I think he kind of felt
he felt it.
Yeah, he knew
he's
it was coming,
rooting for them, but he kind of saw what was coming. Patrick Cantley picking up a bogey here to move back to tied for 5th. So.
Why are you telling me that?
But yeah, I'm gonna be surprised if the Heat win game 2. I know they're gonna try. Maybe it'll be closer. But I just think what I kind of see happening here, Nuggets, winning game 2, maybe the Heat winning game 3, and then the Heat blowing it late in game 4, 3-1, maybe rally, win game 5, but then lose at home in game 6. Jokic Murray, Malone, they've all been at this a while. They've
So
all been
much.
grinding
They're so
hard,
good,
and they
dude.
deserve it. They
Yeah,
really
they
do
do.
deserve it. They put in the work, Tony.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And Jokic has even had some naysayers too. And again, we all know his story now at this point. It is like literally a Cinderella story.
Yeah, second round pick to MVP. Pretty impressive stuff. How confident are you in a Nuggets game 2 victory?
Like 85% confident.
Yeah. It just seems like it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if they can take that 2-0 lead. I was talking golf here. So Lipsky at the top alone at 7 under par here. Luke Donald, a little bit of a heater today, was even par yesterday, but is 4 under through 14. Started on the back. Now he's on the front. Tied with Wallace and Matsuyama. And then behind him, Cantley tied Rory McIlroy, a little run, even par 72 yesterday.
Very nice.
3 under through 12, started on the back as well. Lee Hodges at 300 and Christian Besenhot at 3 under. After going a 1 over 73 yesterday. So, we're condensing up top. It'll be interesting to see what, former major champions Shane Lowry and Danny Willett will do once they tee off, as well as, Spieth is 1 over right now through 12. Does he rally the back half of his round? Does John Rahm put a low number? I would not be surprised if Rahm shoots 64 today.
Really?
You still think Cantley's going to win?
Yeah.
What about Lipsky?
Just taper.
Taper?
Taper.
Sharp taper or soft taper?
No, gradual. Yeah.
Gradual, and then the final round 80.
Yeah.
Falling out of contention. Golf tournaments are tough, Tony.
It really is. It's like so many days of golf. So much golf, dude.
Yeah.
That you have to play consistently too. It's like
it is tough. It is tough.
So ridiculous.
Like you can't mess up.
Yeah.
Don't mess up.
Can't
do it. No margin for error.
It's crazy.
You think you'll end up catching a shot or two over the weekend?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be home this weekend.
Oh, so
family barbecue. So
it's so sick how they love the golf.
I know, dude.
Or is it just your dad specifically, or no?
Yeah, my dad mostly. My mom would watch it, obviously, with us.
And I know I've asked you this, but he plays or no?
Back in the day, he did.
Okay, he hasn't played it in years or no?
I think he gave it up around when I was like a toddler.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
but he used to be heavy, into it.
Yeah, as far as I know. And then my mom's brother, my uncle Anthony, he played religiously, probably up until about 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there's some golf in the blood.
Yeah,
okay.
Dude.
What do we got coming up on Screen Time?
Dude, great episode of Screen Time. Manny and I in the building. I think Mike will be here. But we got the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer we're watching. Mike is hyped about that. We're also reviewing, dude, you're gonna be honestly you'll lose it. We're reviewing this documentary called Natalia Grace, which is this documentary about this woman. Her name's Natalia Grace.
Yep.
She's from the Ukraine, and this American family adopts her, and it ended up she had dwarfism and some type of disease where you look really, really young.
Mm-hmm.
So the adoption agency forged her birth records, her birth certificates, whatever. Said she was an 8 or 11-year-old girl, and she was a 23-year-old woman. Dressed her up to the nines, everything, pigtails, whatever. And this 23-year-old dwarf is living with his family as a child. And this happened, dude.
Crazy.
It gets so beyond far-fetched and crazy after that, dude. Honestly, it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life, and I really can't believe that it really happened. But documentary came out on HBO. I think they just released 4 more episodes today, and then Monday 2 episodes came out. So we watched those, dude. We're gonna recap that. It's gonna be pretty intense. It's gonna be a lot of good discussion, dude. It's crazy. Crazy,
Seems even
Brian.
crazier than The Watcher.
It is.
The Watcher was so ridiculous.
The Watcher was ridiculous, but Brian, this you're just gonna be jaw open, what? The shit that this family goes through and everything. It's just
yeah.
I
think we could all agree, just everybody's insane. I mean, that's the best way to summarize.
Absolute insanity, dude. Insanity.
Are we talking high noon for Screen Time?
Yeah, noon, maybe a little bit earlier. But yeah, noon o'clock. Let's go, baby.
Awesome. So definitely check that out. the week that was. I feel like it flew by. Obviously,
Labor
Day,
Memorial
Monday,
Day, rather. Yeah.
Kind of shortened things up. But we have a full week ahead. Coming up next week. So excited for that. So excited to talk about these baseball series. From this weekend on Monday, as well as the NBA finals, the Stanley Cup finals. So definitely look forward to enjoying all of that with you, as well as the winner of the Memorial Tournament as we inch closer to the U.S. Open at LA Country Club. But would like to thank everybody for tuning in today, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee in costume. The merch, downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the weather. Let's go Yankees for Tony's sake.
Let's go Mets for everyone's sake.
Enjoy screen time, and we will see you on Monday.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.